Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
In his excellent book, Letters for Philip, Dr. Charlie Shedd writes, Dear Phil, there are 3 things I aim to do every day as a husband. 1, tell her I love her. 2, do something nice for her. And 3, pay her a compliment. The truth is that this only sounds simple, but you try these as a regular discipline and you'll see that they say easier than they do, and the toughest of those to remember may be number 3, pay her a compliment. Psychologists tell us that there are several reasons why we restrain ourselves at this point. In some cases, they say the hesitancy comes from a basic hostility syndrome, which means that we're mad at the whole world. People are no darn good, so down with everybody. Or somehow we got the message that since we ought to affect a little embarrassment when we receive compliments, why should we embarrass others by praising them? But I think there may be a more basic reason why many of us husbands are stingy with kind words, and this is because we're people, and the average specimen of the human species is naturally inclined to be selfish. We spend most of our time thinking about number 1. We're too preoccupied with our own emotional feelings. We don't have the time, take the time, or make the time to consider what it would mean to the other person if we opened our faces to say a good word. You can believe me, every woman worth the name is an addict for masculine approval, and the best way to let her know you approve of her is to tell her. There are all kinds of other ways to get the job done, but from the feminine point of view, voicing your likes is one of the nicest. You see, she has many needs, but one of her greatest is to please you. If things are normal at your house, chances are good that she's thinking of you more than you're thinking of her. This is why, if you give her some pleasant things to think about, you're doing a good thing for you and for your future together. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Well, this also goes for a woman. If you give her a lovely idea of herself, that's what she'll try to become. This is why it makes so much difference what you're telling her. The time finally arrives when she accepts your estimate of her as an estimate of herself. I've seen many an ordinary-looking woman grow into a lovely thing because her husband told her she was lovely. I regret to report that I've also seen some truly gorgeous women gradually fade away because they were no longer inspired from the one source that mattered most to them. All of which leads up to 6 very important words. If you like it, say so. Find something about her to compliment every day. Her voice, her face, her figure, her legs, the slope of her shoulders, the way she walks, her cooking, and the best compliment of all is to tell her, you just go on getting better all the time. A wife will come across town, across the house, across to your point of view, and across almost anything, to give you her love if you offer her yours with some honest approval. If you know some young man who's planning to get married, or someone who's already married but hasn't mastered the art, get him the book Letters to Philip by Dr. Charlie Shedd. It's published by Doubleday.